My daughter was born at the birth center, and then due to complications after she was born, we had to transfer to the hospital. One of the great things about a midwife is you really get to develop a relationship with them during your prenatal meetings, and that relationship means that you're building trust. So we'd spoken about the potential for transfer a lot during our prenatal meetings. It was something we were really prepared for. So when it came time for it, I knew my midwife and I both knew what the procedure was going to be. So when she said, I think it's time to transfer, we were ready and we could just go. The midwives knew it was time to call the paramedics, so they called the birth center aide, which is one of the nice things about giving birth at the birth center, in to call for the paramedics. And in that time, we just kind of gathered our stuff together, and within about 10 minutes, the paramedics had arrived at the birth center. So they come and they just knocked on the door and they said, "Hi, we're here." And then the midwives told them what was going on, what had happened, who I was. And then the team together, the midwives and the paramedics, they all got me onto the gurney, and then they gave me my baby, so my baby was able to ride with me to the hospital on my chest. Then after I was all strapped in, all ready, they got me off into the ambulance, and my midwife came with me in the ambulance, and she was able to just look after me in the back of the ambulance on our way to the hospital. When we arrived at the hospital, they communicated with the doctors and stayed with me even though I was in care of an obstetrician for a little while. And then the obstetricians just transferred care back. They worked really, really well as a team together. I think whenever there's a transfer, there's disappointment, in the same way that when you have a birth plan and it goes a little bit left of where you wanted it, there's disappointment in that. But I think what people think with transfer is fear, and there was no fear for me because I've worked with so many midwives. I know they would way rather be proactive than reactive to a situation. So for me, what that meant was that I wasn't at any risk at the moment, but the potential for it was there, and the midwives were just trying to get ahead of it. If someone had to transfer, I would want them to know that most transfers are not done for emergency. It's just because other things happen and they want to be in the hospital. But when emergency transfers do happen, the midwives work very, very well with the other care providers, so the paramedics and the obstetricians, and it goes very smoothly.